Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Gothic 2. Last time, we did some farming, got some new equipment, got ourselves some new clothing, finally got into the city, just to see that the paladins who run the place kinda aren't taking the threat seriously, by which they mean the dragons are fairy tale. Now, have to rise up in the world, enough so that we can actually go talk to the paladins and convince them there's an issue ourselves. So first and foremost, we're gonna start that by talking to people of the city and trying to become a citizen.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
Can't go on like this.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah, I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Alright, we'll see about that.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
Is it really true?
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
You listen to the wrong people.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Anything from me.
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
Hooray! But also kind of funny that we have one farm here who's literally talking about them being exploited. And then we have the city who's like, these guys aren't giving us stuff. Wonders who's right, but I imagine the farms close to the city are being overexploited because the rest are rebelling. Well, though I can also see just them being overexploited in general.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Oh, so that's Lee. You know the first game? You know. Well, that's a first thing we can do here. So, if we want to get in the good graces, we need to get the approval of 4 people. First, Mateo, over here.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather. Still unused. Interested?
Ooh, I would love that, but nah, not now.
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
Wow. Communism.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
Oh man, forget it.
That's typical of those beggars. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away, because they have their orders.
Fair enough.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Alright.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
Ooh.
That's a whole damn lot.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
In principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Alright.
where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
So right next to us.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Of course.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Fair enough.
Show me.
Oh, not that.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Alright. So, for Matteo, we have to go and assist him
Can't believe that.
and get, what's it called? Money.
Thought about it differently.
Next up, we have Bosper here. But before we talk to him, do you mind if I use your bed? Of course you don't mind. It's getting late in the day. He's gonna go to sleep pretty soon, so let's just skip forward till it's morning.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Bosper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinus?
Well,
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
Fair enough.
I noticed. I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
no.
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
Sure. But what if I want to sign up with one of the other masters?
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Fair enough.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
Alright, I think I will. And?
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
Well,
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
fair enough. Sure, teach me how to skin animals.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
Alright, thank you. So the best way to make money, essentially, is through Bosper. Which is kind of what I want him here. But I also want one more thing.
Show me your wares.
I want to sell him all the weaponry we have here for some extra money. And I want to buy a few more arrows. Well, all of them. It's just 50, which is 50 gold. But bows are quite good this early on, so I want to make use of them. There's Regis here.
You're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
Interesting.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town,
Will it ever change?
you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Interesting.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Fair.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Don't tell me you
Huh.
didn't know that.
That's good to know. Well, our next master to talk to is right here.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade.
Fair
And
enough.
I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
He doesn't see that. Can't help it.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
Fair enough.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Fair enough.
I've come about Greta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Greta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We'll see about that. So, as he has said, in order to progress this quest, you can go straight in here, talk to Greta.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Yeah.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Well,
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout. All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house?
but I wonder where she got that money from. Robin was pretty sure she had none. Let's
Hey,
tell
you!
him she actually had money.
Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Matteo can get his money later.
Alright.
Here's your gold.
Thanks. Now I have at least part of the money I owe Lamar. I can't believe she had the audacity to take my gold.
Yeah, such a terrible thing to do. By the way, now that I'm a good person, can you teach me lockpicks?
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have brought me the 100 gold pieces. That is very decent of you. I am almost embarrassed, but I must ask even more of you. If I cannot pay back my debt to Lamar soon, he's going to send his thugs after me. Give me another 100 gold pieces, and I shall instruct you.
Oh, that's different.
Maybe later.
I'm pretty sure you can get that out of him right now. But if we pay off the debt of his, well, niece, which I'm going to do here.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Good. And now that we've done that, our good friend Torben will be pretty sure he'll be ready to teach us.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have brought me the 100 gold pieces. That is very decent of you. I am almost embarrassed. If I cannot pay, give me another.
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
he's supposed to teach you already, but maybe after we get the blessings of the gods. Oh well, I guess I was just wrong here. Or maybe I have to tell Greta she's an asshole.
What else do you want?
No, that will not work. Well, there is two more masters we have to convince.
Hey,
What do you want?
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
Okay.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice. Provided the other masters agree.
That's a pretty big ask. This early in the game. We can actually do that pretty easily. You talk to him again and he will give you a different, easier quest. But let's not.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
Fair enough. So that's our next quest, or next goal. But before that, how much money do I have? 44. Good. While we are still low on money, first...
chose the human. And Enos spoke to him. Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Well...
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
I may give you my blessing, stranger, but I know nothing about you. Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I
So
carry
here's the
an
thing.
important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
You could lie to him, or butter up the truth, but he respects the truth a lot, so you should not lie. He also will not, well, tell people about this shit. Even though the Paladin told you to not spread news, or else, it's fine to tell Vatras.
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Well...
Zardos, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
Well...
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus. And will you give me your blessing now?
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
And in this house, we like Vatras. He's a nice guy. By the way...
Where can I find a priest of Innos?
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of the monastery there.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
So he can increase our mana pool. Let's not. But thanks. Alright, next up. The next best thing to do here is to go over here and find the magician of Innos. Speaking of, he's right here.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Hey, you!
What can I do for you?
You better shut up.
Are you seeking spiritual comfort?
And he works
Do
away,
you
too.
want to direct a prayer to our Lord Enos?
That's what
Or
I
donate
said.
some gold for his church?
You can't
Of
get
course, I'm going to get your blessing.
I've come to get your blessing.
Now
That's good.
typical, isn't
That's good. then you will probably want to donate gold to the Holy Church of Innos, won't you?
Actually, I wanted your blessing so I can sign on as an apprentice in the lower part of town.
But my son, without a modest donation to the church, it is impossible for me to bless you. How else can I be certain of your good intentions towards the Holy Church of Innos?
All right.
So, how much does a donation usually run to here?
Well, that depends on what percentage you want to give, son. Let me see how much you brought. Well, you don't have much, but neither are you poor. 10 gold pieces for Innos. We live modestly. I bless you in the name of Innos, for he is light and righteousness.
So yeah, depending how much money you have, he takes a different amount. Thankfully, we were fairly poor, so we didn't have to give a lot.
Everybody knows things like that.
Where do you come from?
I come from the monastery of the magicians, which lies in the mountains. We accept everyone there who is pure of heart and feels the desire to serve our almighty Lord Innos.
Huh.
Tell me about Innos.
Innos, our almighty Lord, is the light and the fire. He chooses humans to be his tool, giving them magic and laws. We act in his name. We administer justice according to his will and preach his word.
All right, then,
Tell me more about the monastery.
We instruct our students in all forms of magic. But the arts of the magicians of fire consist of more than these alone. We are also well versed in the art of alchemy and in the creation of powerful runes. We also make excellent wine.
Ooh.
What are you doing in town?
I have discussions with the paladins and support the citizens with my advice and with helpful words. Particularly in these difficult times, it is our duty to be there for the people and to help the poor.
Fair enough. Now, we could do a few things around the market here. Talking to these merchants will get you some other quests, like fighting off some bandits and getting one of the merchants here kicked out from their stall so another merchant can take them, and finding evidence that one guy is a thief. I'm gonna skip that because it's not really worth it, but it's an option. Still, we now have all we need for this. So,
how about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Yes.
And did you also get the blessing of a priest of Innos?
Yes, I did.
Then you shall have my blessing as well. No matter what path you decide to take pride in doing a good job, my boy.
By the way, if you have too much money and want to get a blessing of Innos, you can go all the way to the monastery and get one free. And I'm pretty sure...
You have brought me the one... I am almost embarrassed. If I cannot pay, give me another $100.
Really? I thought you would already be fine with me.
Maybe.
Well, I really want to learn lockpicking skills. Do I have money bags? I do, but not enough money. It's worth it. I'm gonna sell a few things and get the lockpicking skill. Because there is something I want to get with lockpicking right away.
Show me your wares.
You see, I'm gonna sell you the swampweed and this stew, this fish soup, the cheese, the bread, and that's enough. We have all 100. Now I can learn lockpicking from Forben.
Can you? Fine.
In that case,
teach me how to pick a lock.
All you need is a lockpick. If you move it carefully left and right in the lock, you can unbolt the mechanism. But if you move it too much or too fast in the wrong direction, it will snap right off. The more adept you become, the fewer lockpicks you are going to need. That's all there is to it, really.
Excellent. And now we have the skill. And as the last thing we're going to do today, we're gonna do a bit of thieving. So, see this wall here? If you're good, you can just kind of climb up on it. Maybe it's over here. Go along this wall. I think you can jump on here. Oh no, maybe it's this wall. One of these walls is the one I want to go up on. I could swear it's this one. Okay, maybe it is this one and I have to make the jump. One moment. Well, that's the difficult way. And, well, the way you're supposed to do it. So let me just see if I can remember exactly how. But if I don't, I'm just going to show you the easy way, so to say. Let me do another attempt here. Nope, I apparently suck too much. I could swear that it was enough to do this. Oh well, what I wanted to do is, if you can climb up there, which you should be able to, maybe I can do it from this bench. No, I cannot climb it. Or maybe from up here. I'll give it another try. No. Oh well. You can get around and on top of that wall. And into this little section. I'm just gonna sneak past. And there's two chests here. One of them we can't do anything with. This one, however, let me see. Left, right, left, right. And we can get ourselves a piece of leather armor. For free. Which is cost 250 usually. And now we're getting it for free. Another 10 upgrade to weapon protection. 5 to arrow. And 5 to fire protection. Quite nice for free. Well, it cost us 100 gold. Almost 200 actually. Because we also had to, what's it called? Pay for his niece. But it's still cheaper than actually buying it. And it gets us a skill as well. So that's gonna be it. Next time, we're gonna actually become a citizen.
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right?
If he doesn't see that, I can't help him.
Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Huh.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
Thanks. But that's it. Next time we will become an apprentice. And we will explore the city a bit more. See you all then.